Welcome to the Entertainment Rants Podcast, your number one opinion source for all things entertainment. Join host Marco Mazzola as he sounds off on the latest movies, TV, music, gaming, comic books, and more. Now, here's the man of the hour, Marco Mazzola.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Entertainment Rants Podcast. I'm your host, Marco Mazzola, and as always, we're joined by our co-host. This is Mila. Say hello, Mila.
Howdy.
All right, everybody. Today, we are talking about all things Last Airbender. So this is a little bit of a throwback. It's going back a ways. Hopefully, you've seen the whole show. If not, you're going to get a lot of information on that show today.
Yes.
So we've both seen it.
Yes.
The entire, at least the original series with Aang, right?
Yeah.
You've seen the entire series, but you haven't watched all of Korra.
I have not watched all of Korra.
All right, so you're gonna have to go back and watch Korra. Maybe we'll talk about that another
Yeah.
day. So today we're gonna pretty much
Part
mostly
two,
stay.
maybe.
Yeah, exactly. We're gonna stay on the first part with Aang as our Airbender. So what made you start, or why did you start watching The Last Airbender?
I started watching it when I was a kid. Well, not started. When it was on, I would watch it. But it was more like when I got back into it, a friend of mine was like, "What? You can't remember what happened in the last Avatar?" And I was like, "Well, no, it hasn't come up." But then it was like, you have to watch it. So then I watched it, and I am so glad I did, because it is so much better, like, actually genuinely watching through it, like, bit by bit. It's so good.
So let's talk about that. There's two ways now we can watch most things in our lives. You can watch episode by episode, or you can just binge watch. You can wait for it to be completely done, or a season to be done, and then just go back and binge watch it episode by episode, like write it back to back. What is your preference?
If I really want to watch something, I'll binge watch it. But I used to binge watch a lot of things, but I've gotten out of that habit now that I don't have as much time. But I do usually go episode by episode, but it's pretty much binge watch.
Yeah, because the gaps in between can be frustrating.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's nice to take a break, but sometimes it's just, I want the next episode. I want that next episode. I want that gratification of just watching what happens next, especially when they leave most things as cliffhangers these days, right? To draw you back to the next episode.
And most of the time I drop the show until much after it's finished.
Yeah.
Because I just get so impatient, and then I get into something else, and I just completely forget about it most of the time.
Yeah, we just got done watching What If, the first episode, so now we have to wait week to week, and we're going to continue to drop episodes. If you haven't listened to the Peggy Carter, Captain Carter episode, you go back and we'll listen to that one as well.
Yeah.
I watched the series when it was coming out, so I watched it, episode by episode. Yeah, I was very fully aware. I loved it. Being in the martial arts background, it definitely spoke to me. Yeah. Right, they're doing martial arts with the addition of bending, earth, air, fire, and water, right? Point, yeah. But a lot of this stuff is all about martial arts in there, so that definitely spoke to me. I loved watching it right from the beginning, so it hooked. I was hooked, and I did watch pretty much all of Korra as well. And maybe we can talk about the movie. I don't know if you've ever saw the movie.
I have not.
Don't waste your time.
The movie?
Yeah, don't waste your time.
I've watched clips of it. That's all I really needed to go. That's all you need. You know what?
Yeah, it was 3 to 5
I don't think
minutes
I'm ever going to watch
really
this.
Good. Well, 3 to 5 minutes, I think, of that movie were really, really good. The rest, not worth it. But the show was incredible. I thought the animation was fantastic. God, yeah. What did you think of the animation on the show?
Oh, it was gorgeous.
Yeah.
From the bending to the moves, just everything was absolutely gorgeous.
Right, and it's a Nickelodeon show. It was a Nickelodeon show.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So to have that kind of an animation.
High level for Nickelodeon.
It really was. Especially even at the time, it definitely was. What about the overall message of the show? What did you think, your thoughts on what you thought the overall message of the show was? That's a tough one, I know.
There's so many. But I think the overall message is like, man. I think it had to be something like just live your life. Like, you find a band of friends and just stay with them and just do stuff.
Right, and there's a lot. Yeah. I mean, there's a lot of different messages, overarching theme. I liked the whole, believe in yourself, right? Yeah. Find your inner self and what's capable of inside yourself. Right? And that's what Aang was always struggling for, right? He was an airbender, but he had to be the last bender, altogether. He had to be the avatar, so he needed to be able to bend all forms, from air to fire and earth and water. Which
also meant that he had to look within himself to find all the his capabilities to build bend all those other elements.
So most of the series was his journey to learn how to bend all 4 elements, and obviously air he already knew how to do, but the other 3 he had to get with either teachers or people that could help him do that. And find his inner part of him, because he knew he was supposed to be the one to be able to bend all 4.
Yeah.
A lot of references, sort of a lot of Star Wars-y type of, bringing that back in, the Force. You can take care of all this stuff.
Yeah.
You can learn how to do this. It's all within you. You're born with this. So there's definitely some parallels there.
It's only you.
Right. It's only you. And then, of course, there's the other parts of it, the jealousies. The, you can do this, I can't. You have the Fire Nation and then the opposing to all the other nations. You know what I mean? So that was interesting, and we'll talk about more about that. What kept you watching the show? You learned, you loved it, you watched it, but it's a series. It's multiple seasons. You have to go back and commit to watching it all the way to the end. Right? There's so many episodes. There's so many shows I know that I've watched. I fizzled out. After maybe the last season, just wasn't a straight stopped watching.
Yeah, and this is definitely one of the shows that kept me going the whole time. When I was binge watching it, because sometimes I can lose interest. Mm-hmm. This one kept my interest. How it did that? Ooh. I think it's just a combination between everything. I think, the bending is really cool. So that's already, a really big point there. Mm-hmm. But it's also the world. And the fact that they do a lot of world building all throughout the show. Yep. So you get to see different parts of it and different kinds of people and, different tribes and beliefs and, nations and countries and all that. And it's so gorgeous. And just everything about it. And then, and definitely the characters definitely also kept me going. It was,
so who was your favorite character? You can say Aang if you want to. You can definitely go Aang, but if you want to go someone else, who was your favorite? Let's say who's your favorite other than Aang. Let's go that way.
I think Zuko was my favorite because his redemption arc and his whole character growth was phenomenal. They really hit the nail on the head with that.
Yeah. I think so. And it's not that his was more than Aang, but definitely going from that villain to good guy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And you also saw it wasn't just I've seen the light. Yeah. It was hard.
It was hard.
It was a whole trek he had to go through, especially my other favorite character, Iroh.
Yeah.
Helped him through that.
Right. Absolutely.
And there was a lot of backtracking, too, which was realistic.
Yeah, a lot of slipping and, kind of getting back on the horse and getting back to be the good guy.
Yeah.
That was very interesting. So, all right, so he's your favorite. I like that. What would be... Okay, this is an interesting question that I definitely want to hear about. If you could bend an element, which one? You can't bend all 4. Let's just take that off the table. You can't bend all 4.
I wouldn't assume you were talking about...
Which one would you want to be able to bend?
I feel like I would want to be able to air bend.
Why?
Because I just think, I think one of the biggest reasons is I've always wanted the ability to just be able to fly and glide and just be up in the air, and it would just be so relaxing and calming to just be able to just float.
Yeah, I agree. I have to go with it because that would be a hard choice for me. I don't really have any interest.
What would you be?
Well, it wouldn't be firebend. I think that's maybe some people that's an awesome one, but it's super destructive.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. It's super destructive bending. You have to be super careful with it. But I like air bending. Earth bending feels right to me as well.
Yeah.
Being able to move things like that. But I think that was also kind of destructive. Right, because you're literally moving the earth and pushing. If you're not putting it right back down,
if you're not doing it right.
Well, no, but air you can be destructive.
Yeah.
But it's not necessarily turning the earth around. You're not moving parts of the ground and over to a different area, right? And then hopefully you put it back. So you're changing the landscape. You're literally you're changing the landscape as your earth bend. It's cool, but it seems all right. Well, I gotta be really careful to put it back where it came from. Yeah. Otherwise, I'm changing the topography of this whole area. And water again, same thing. But unless unless you're carrying it around, you can't always find it. Not necessarily can't always find water, unless you, like she did, she carried it in a pouch. You kind of had it.
Yeah.
But you can always find air. Like the air is always around us. Yeah. You can always use the air, like you said. Air bending and floating and flying. Always, same with me, always one of them.
So thinking like inwards, not thinking physically, like, the technicalities, like water can do a lot more. What do you feel like you would be? What do you just jive with the most?
Yeah, I'd have to say air. I would definitely have to say air. Yeah, not just because to me it's the most practical, but I would say that's probably the one I'd most jive with. Because I too have those very vivid dreams as a kid, is like flying and things like that. So that I think would probably be the best. I could just I don't have to like walk over there, just levitate and fly over there. It'd be so much easier. Wouldn't need to pay for a car. That would be awesome.
Yeah, because I hear a lot of people like they try to justify what element they want to be because of specific things. Like they go, oh, I'd want to be water because it's very like there's so many advantages to it. And I'm like, no, but you got to like vibe with it. You got to like feel what you want.
Yeah, absolutely. I like that. So you've watched all the seasons, and it kind of did the books of like, there's the Fire Nation, the Water Nation. They kind of went through the elements. Yeah. So I probably know the answer, but is air your favorite time they talked about, or was there a different section that you liked the most? Which like sort of book did you like the most? Because it's broken down by books, basically.
Book 2 was really good because they introduced Toph, which is another one of the best characters ever done. Toph was absolutely fantastic. Yeah, I'd say book 2 was probably.
She was very no nonsense.
Yeah.
Like, this is what I'm
doing.
No
nonsense, blind, most powerful earthbender ever.
Yep.
She's just, her introduction was definitely it.
Do you feel like you could be friends with her? If you met Toph, you could be friends with her?
I hope so.
Yeah.
I hope I could keep up with her.
Right. She put up with our shenanigans.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, but I'd say book 2.
Book 2.
Because of that, yeah.
Fantastic. I like book 2 too. I probably, I don't know, to me it was the third I think I got the most. Yeah. Like to me, I think I really hit and dug down deep into book 3. I don't know, I just like that one the most.
Yeah.
But
book 3 was also super good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I liked that one. I like that one a lot. So, okay. What else do we have for you today? Okay, who was your least favorite character? I think I like going favorite character, but least favorite character. Did they bug you? Just thought they were useless to the show?
Katara.
Katara. A little subtle there.
Just a Katara.
Why?
She's just, I don't know. There was just nothing about her that I could really focus on. Like, yes, her mother died. Yes, she brought it up every time anyone mentioned anything.
I like how you just shuffled off that her mother died.
No,
and it's blew it up, and that's a pretty poignant thing. However, I agree with you. Like bringing it up every time,
and it's like, also that like she was always kind of like being a bug to a lot of people. Like she would bug like Sokka a lot. I mean, Sokka was a bug too, but she just did that a lot.
Yeah, the companions on the show are rough to handle. Yeah.
It was just kind of like, I was like, oh yeah, okay, is it a Katara story? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
But all in all, I just didn't find her that interesting to me. Personally. That's just to me. I just didn't find her that interesting.
That's what this is about. This is about your personal opinions. We're ranting about the things that we're passionate about and the things that you feel. So it's no need to...
Passionately, respectfully, don't really
you don't have to
like
respect
Katara
it that much. It's okay if you don't do it respectfully. That's fine too. Everybody has their opinions. This is our opinion, so it's totally fine. No need to apologize for that.
Although she had some really cool waterbending moments.
Yeah,
definitely. She had her moments. Yeah. I'll give her that. Like with the bloodbending episode and the the Northern Water Tribe? Like her being taken up as a student at the Northern Water Tribe. That was really cool. And then, I don't know, the rest of the time I was like, oh yeah, I guess Katara's part of this too, huh?
Yeah.
She's a main character, huh?
She's still here. She's still floating around. And her brother, he bugged me.
So Sokka for you?
Oh yeah, he did. Over her, yeah. He was kind of just like, I don't know, he was just whiny a lot of the times, and just, it seemed like he wanted to be Aang, like he wanted to be the guy in charge who could do everything.
Yeah, but he just wasn't.
He just wasn't. He didn't have bendings, and not that's not why I didn't like him, because he didn't bend. That has nothing to do with it. It was his attitude about the fact that he couldn't do it. It just sounded a little petulant and a little whiny to me. Like, this is where you are. This is what happened. Nobody caused this. So just do the best you can. You know, he had some good arcs too. You know, he had some good redemptions and doing some, doing good for the team. But
in some way, it's mastering all the bending, but they're just their like fighting styles or their weapon styles. Yeah. With the Kyoshi warriors and the blade, the meteorite blade.
It's pretty impressive. Cool. You can't actually bend anything. It was pretty impressive. All right, let's talk about some of the little companions. Appa.
Oh, I love Appa. I love what was it? Momo.
Momo, yeah.
Oh, Momo was great.
Momo was the sort of comic relief. He's the comedy guy, right? He's their Orko. He's their, you know what I mean? He's their the little animal sidekick. Pretty funny.
Oh, look, there's Momo. Yeah, I think Appa was just awesome.
Wouldn't you want Appa? Wouldn't you want an Appa?
I would want Appa and just go yip yip and go woo.
And Appa you go, absolutely, riding that thing everywhere.
Oh, I want to get me an Appa.
Yeah. Don't want to claim up after it, but I would love an Appa.
Yeah, that would be a bit much.
That'd be a bit much. Would not like that at all.
And the existence of turtle ducks was nice.
Yes.
That was really cute.
That was cute.
And dragons. Oh. The existence of dragons was also really cool.
Yeah, definitely. Talk to me about the show ending.
I heard that it was controversial.
Yes, that's what I heard too.
Yes. That the fact that he didn't actually have to kill him and instead what was his name? The Fire Nation head Phoenix guy.
Sure, you put me on the spot now. I forget it.
What's his name? It was Iroh's brother, the Fire Lord. I'm just gonna call him Fire Lord for now. So when Aang had to, instead of he was struggling with, like, should he kill the Fire Lord? He didn't want to kill the Fire Lord, and all of his past selves were like,
haha. Ozai?
Ozai, yeah, Ozai, yeah. And like all his past selves were like, you're gonna have to kill Ozai, even the other airbenders. But then he met the lion turtle, and which gave him the ability to energy bend, which gave him the ability to take away Ozai's power, which I personally really liked it. I thought that was a really cool. I just thought that was really cool, and I thought like the lion turtle was like, oh, that's so cool. Oh my gosh, what did he do to Aang? Oh my gosh, Aang can energy bend now. That's so cool, and he can take away bending. Yeah. I personally thought it was really cool, but I know a lot of people thought, oh, that's just a cop out.
Right, like an easy write out.
Yeah, like oh no, you can just energy bend now. So but I personally, I enjoyed it. I thought it was a really cool twist.
Yeah, I thought it was a great twist. I thought it was a great arc to Aang's character, like to really outfit him with another and bring him all full circle.
Yeah, you know and make him the single most powerful avatar ever.
Yeah, but that's what you want. Like you go into it, you're rooting for him. You're rooting for him to learn all this stuff and be the best.
Like, that's what he's supposed to be. He's even cooler now.
And I don't know if you ever watched Smallville, but like
I have, yeah.
You spend the entire series waiting for him to be in the suit. He's in the suit for 2 seconds. You're like, and they always said they weren't going to put him in the suit, but you want him to be. Yeah. Right.
Or like every time you're looking forward to him getting a new power.
Nothing.
Like,
Nothing. This gave it to you. Like how can you complain? Yeah. Like this gave it to you. It gave you everything. Yeah. I thought it was a very satisfactory ending and putting it to that level. And it doesn't leave you hanging. It doesn't leave you wanting. It really doesn't leave you wanting more.
Yeah, you're satisfied.
Satisfied.
Like,
not that you don't want more show.
Of
course, you'd want more show because it's a great show.
Yeah.
But you live like, okay, if that's going to be the ending. Done. Yeah, that's going to be the ending of this character. I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
As much as we left them go on forever and keep watching, but we know we can't do that.
Yeah, because
then the stories start getting even more ridiculous and they just keep repeating themselves. Yeah. So it was a great fitted ending to it.
Definitely, I loved it.
I liked when they picked up in Korra, Legend of Korra. It's much later, but they still reference back to Aang.
Yeah.
At certain points, so I thought, but we'll talk about that after you've seen.
And I'll rewatch it too. Seen Korra.
Yeah, and I'll rewatch it too, just to make sure we're backing up to it.
All on the same page.
Yeah, definitely, absolutely. All right, so we talked about your favorite characters. We talked about your least favorite characters. Let's talk about Aang a little bit.
Yes.
And his role in it, and
the main man.
Yeah, the main man, the man of the hour, if you will. What did you think? Okay, so a lot of different things. What did you think about his character overall? The voice actor who played him.
At first, I thought Aang, I was like, oh yeah, he's the main character, but I'm gonna focus on like other things instead. But like after like really watching it, like actually watching it, I thought his like character was super likable, and just like a joy to be around. And the fact that like when everyone like was arguing or like couldn't like figure something out, like he helped people work together instead of like working against each other. That was brought up a lot of times. Like he was very like the peace guy, like in the middle, like everything was gonna be okay. And especially that like effect of him being like the peacekeeper, like near the end when he's getting really stressed and he's thinking like, what if I can't do it? Then his friends, it's time for them to like turn around and like help him out. Like, hey, it's all gonna be okay. Just take care of this little problem, which is just the Fire Lord taking over the world. You know, it's it is what it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I agree. I think his character. I wasn't. In the beginning, he's that little innocent.
Yeah.
Again, kind of whiny a little bit because he's just so struggling.
You also have to remember he's 12.
Right, he's 12. He's 12.
Like then you go, oh, he's kind of annoying, and you go, but he is 12.
But he is 12.
And just lost all his people.
Lost all his people.
He's
He's got a lot of pressure on him.
Yeah.
He knows what he's supposed to become.
Yeah.
But it was there was a lot of that sort of stomping around, going like, why can't I do this?
Yeah.
Which it's understandable. But and I watched it when I was an adult. You know what I mean? It's a little, so that's different. Obviously, coming from if you're watching it, if you're 12 or younger and you're watching the show, it's like you identify, you can relate. Like, I'd be frustrated too. As an adult, you're kind of like, oh, dude, you got so much more to go. Don't even like stress about that.
Chill out,
Just
kid.
relax.
You don't even know.
You get that kind of stress, you're not going to make it out alive. So you just got to calm down. But but at the end of but when he started to get stronger, not only just in his powers, but in his ability to handle situations and help people out, I really dug him. Like, I really dug him. Like you said, being that peacekeeper, helping people to get together.
Yeah, he became a really, really good character.
Yeah, he did. He gave a really strong force, and I felt that he could handle it. Yep. I felt like he could really handle it. Like, he's going to be able to handle these powers and handle his responsibilities. And do it. I thought that was really well done.
Again, that's the magic of Avatar: The Last Airbender, is the fact that, like, the writers of the show, I can't remember their name, but the writers were, like, able to make growth in his character. Because a lot of the times, you don't really see growth. You just see the same character, just now getting more powers. And you're like, oh, okay, they didn't really do anything, though. Yeah. But with Aang, it's, like, a prime example of, like, growth, of, like, self.
No.
And just accepting, like we talked about earlier, accepting different parts of yourself and becoming able to handle things better. And it was just good.
Top of your head, I can't remember, how long does the story take place on? Like, how long is the, from the first episode to the last episode, like, what is the time frame we're talking about?
I actually think it's about, like not a few months, but, like, not even a year, I don't think.
Really?
Yeah.
Because I don't remember how many seasons there were. If they talk about seasons and things like that.
Yeah.
Because the whole thing is, they're journeying. They're walking around. They're going from place to place and doing all these different things.
But I think it was just, like, it was not that long, actually.
Yeah. Like, physically, he didn't grow that much throughout the series. You know what I mean? They drew him the same, essentially.
Yeah. All that happened was Zuko got hair.
Yeah.
Some hair.
Yes.
Which means it was probably just, like,
that could be
like
a few months.
Around a month, like a few months.
Well, hopefully it's a little bit longer than that because they're traveling so much. Yeah. But yes, that was. Yeah, I like the playing. It was a short story, even though it took years. In terms of the show to come out, they kept the show within just a short period, less than a year, in terms of the actual time.
Man, it's so funny thinking about, like, all the avatars before needing to take, like, years and years to, like, master all the, like, elements, and Aang's like, welcome back. It's been 100 years. You need to learn and master everything in the span of a few months. Good luck.
I got
he's
this.
Like, huh?
Hold my beer. I got this.
He's like, seems easy enough.
I can
all right.
do this. Yeah. His flying apparatus. What'd you think of that?
The little gliding.
Yeah, the glider. The glider.
I thought that was so cool, and I was like,
way.
again, like, going back to, like, airbending. I'm like, that's it. That's what I would want. Yeah. the fact that he can, like, bend around it and, like, actually fly instead of glide. I thought that was so cool. It's so neat.
So talking about that, then, what was your favorite airbending kind of like ability and your least favorite, like one you thought was the hokiest, most ridiculous. He's riding around on an air ball. He's like sitting. You know what I mean? He's just twirling underneath his butt.
I was gonna say that one is the one that's like kind of cheesy and silly. I love cheesy and silly, and that's definitely fits that criteria. But I think something I loved the most was just when he would. It was super cool knowing that he'd mastered airbending already, so you could just see how comfortable he was. Like the fact that it was like just another extension of him was the air around him. Mm-hmm. The way he would just kind of like breathe, and he'd be like blown back further, but also be able to like handle where he is, and just like be able to like jump just a little bit higher and do like these cool acrobatic moves. I like it was so cool. And Toph had the right idea calling him Twinkle Toes.
Twinkle Toes, that's right.
The fact that he just kind of like floated, but not really floated places. Yeah. Like it was just like that was so cool. Like his comfort level with airbending was the coolest thing to me.
Yeah, and all the bending, I love how they incorporate the bending into their fighting.
Oh,
right,
yeah.
like that's a major portion of it. Is self-defense and fighting. You'd be able to use water or fire, obviously air and the earth. When Toph would just like stomp the ground, and use this pillar of earth, just fire somebody off into the air and be done, or create a wall of some kind. Like super powerful.
Yeah,
super powerful to watch that happen, and it definitely gets you going.
Yeah,
it gets your energy going. Like I would love to do
exciting.
that.
You're like, and then you're like stomping on the ground, going,
I wish I could do that.
And you're like, oh man, the earth didn't move.
Yeah,
Shoot.
Totally. Yeah.
guess I didn't make it yet.
So other than that, those are the main elements. Is anything other kind of element that you would want to do, like metal or things like that? You would be able to, sort of like a Magneto, if you will.
That would be super cool. Metal bending?
Yeah.
That would actually be really neat, like just becoming Magneto.
Yeah, I think that'd be. Yeah, I realize it's funny because I was thinking about this as I do, because I think in cartoons and comic books all the time.
As you do.
As I do, because you know me long enough. I think about that kind of stuff all the time. It's like, could I handle it, or would that be like super dangerous if I had that? I think for most people it would be really dangerous if they had that kind of ability, and thank God we don't.
I find comfort in the idea that I can just simply go, yeah, I can handle it.
Yeah.
Because it's not like that's going to come up, but one day
I know very well I wouldn't be able to handle it. You see, like, you're driving and you see somebody parked in a really bad way. You just want to be able to lift the car and move it. Like, get out of the way.
Like,
and that's exactly what I would do. Like, I would just use it for really, like, get this car out of my way. I would just fly it off into the woods.
Put your shopping cart in the corral.
That's right.
Whoosh,
where I live, there's one car that's always...
hurricane speeds.
There's always one car that's in a really bad, like, position, really kitty-cornered, like, always gets, like, the prime spot. Like, that car would never not end up in the woods. So, I would like to thank God I can't actually do this.
I think I can handle it.
Yeah.
Because
I'd like to say I'd use it for good, and I think I would. I think in a lot of ways I would. Like if I have any of the element bending, I would totally use them for good.
Yeah.
I would totally can see myself doing that. But there's just some parts of me it's just like, now I'm just really tired in my self-defense of just using this for good. My wall is down. So I'm going to wrap your car around a tree. Because I'm tired. Not with you in it. I don't want to hurt anybody.
Yeah,
I just need it out of my way.
You got to pay the price for
absolutely. You drive in this, we drive down our main road here, and it's like a 35 mile an hour road, and every night when I leave work, there's people 25 miles an hour. The entire way. It's a single lane road. You're like, if I could metal bend, you'd be out of my way so fast. Your car would just be picked up and put off to the side and then put back behind me. It's just, you're not even doing the speed limit. We know most people go 10 miles over the speed limit. You're not even approaching the speed limit. It's 8 o'clock. I want to go home. Get out of my way.
Exactly.
Just be flipped over behind me. I'm out. You're gone.
Yeah. I think I'd be able to handle it, but I don't know if I would I wouldn't use it for evil. But I also wouldn't really use it for good. I think I'd just use it.
Mm-hmm. Never necessary.
Just because I could. Yeah. Even little things, like I'd have a pencil, and I'd just be using airbending to just blow the pencil back just a little bit, so then the pencil rolls back down.
Just little things throughout your day.
Just little things, or just taking a pencil, having it
So basically, the ultimate then would be like a telekinesis power.
Yeah.
Because then you could pretty much do anything, move anything, do anything, lift yourself. Because I would do the same thing. I love automatic doors.
Like that.
One's not automatic. I just want to be able to go, boom, put my hand out, and then moves. You know what I mean? I don't have to touch the door, especially nowadays. I don't want to touch the door that 100 other people have touched before me.
You just go, just use like
She's pushed the door open
something.
with your mind. Yeah, that would be fantastic.
Don't touch me.
I would love that. But
telepathy and telekinesis just to have people not touch you.
Yeah, exactly. And I would definitely use it for good, but there would definitely be those times like, yeah, maybe that wasn't the best of uses of the power.
You know what?
Might have abused
I could have handled this situation.
And I'm not talking
just
stealing.
A little better.
I'm not talking about stealing anything. I'm certainly not talking about hurting anybody. Just get out of my way.
Just mild vandalism.
Just get out of my way.
Or extreme vandalism.
Yeah, exactly. Well, yeah, wrapping the car around a tree might be considered, I guess, in some places.
It could be, considered just a little bit much.
From a certain point of view.
It's not everywhere. I mean, I'm not saying it's always bad. I'm just saying it's not the greatest.
Probably where we live
plan.
It would be. Yes, definitely. Absolutely. So, all right. So we're just about done. We've got about a half hour.
Neat.
Yes, on Airbender. And I wanted to get your sort of as we do, your final thoughts, if you will. We didn't really talk much about the movie because the movie isn't really much to talk about.
There's not really anything to talk about over there.
It's really not. But I definitely want to get back into Korra when we can, because that's also. I mean, I watched Korra. I'm gonna rewatch it so we can do it. And I thought that was a fantastic show. I thought it was a great sequel. To the series, and I did like the fact that they put it so far ahead in the future. You didn't have to have Aang in it. But he's older.
Yeah, he's
kind of
sort of in it.
Yeah, he's in there sort of kind of, but it wasn't
just
like
all the
other
ones are kind of sort of.
Yeah, but he's there,
right?
And he's there as a mentor and things like that. But it's so much about her, which it needed to be. So we'll save that for the next one and do a whole episode just on Korra.
Definitely.
And then we're going to continue to watch What If. So hopefully, again, go back and listen to the What If podcast that we did on the Peggy Carter, the Captain Carter episode, and we're going to watch the next one as well, and then we'll do a podcast quickly on that one as well. So, all right, final words on Last Airbender.
I thought, what was it called? The Agni Kai at the end. I thought that was one of the greatest scenes in a lot of shows. Just wanted to say.
That's what we did and we do. We should go back. Hold on. Let's go back. We're not going to end yet. Favorite episode. We didn't talk about favorite episode. At least
favorite episode.
Yeah, we didn't. We skipped that question.
The only one that I can think of, like that was like automatic, was the one I can't remember what it was called. Oh, Ba Sing Se, like Tales of Ba Sing Se.
Yeah. Oh, I love that one.
That one was so good. There were like the episodes that were kind of like sillier, like Aang's like, oh, let's make just a zoo using earthbending, and then there was the super good ones that are very well known, like Iroh's episode where he sings like Leaves from the Vine about his son. That was so good. I loved that. Yeah.
So that's an episode you'd watch over and over again.
Yes.
Just that one.
Yes, I would.
Yep. Now, least favorite episode. And you don't have to have one, but if you do.
Least favorite episode. I can't.
It's that Skipper episode, right? If you're rewatching the series for like the 4th, 5th time, you go, yeah, I know what happens. I don't bother.
I mean, I guess the library one. But although, it's so cool. The owl is so cool. And
every show has almost filler episodes, right? Not everything can be hit out of the park.
I think that's the closest thing to a filler episode that I can think of. That I'm like, I get it. I get the idea.
But that's a good recommendation for the show. If you can't think of a whole bunch of filler episodes, that means every episode is worth watching.
Yeah.
It adds to the story. It continues the story. It fills in things you need. And if you miss it, you're missing stuff when you get to the next episode.
I have a question for you.
Sure.
What was your favorite creature in Avatar? Because there were so many different creatures.
There are a lot, but I'll always, and I know this is a cop-out, but I'll always go to Appa.
Yeah, I completely understand.
Cute and furry and cuddly, and he was gigantic. And
the fact that he had his own personality, too.
Yeah, and he was like, I mean, if you ever watched Never Ending Story, he's like the Luck Dragon.
He is.
You know, he's like Falcor the Luck Dragon. So he reminded me, obviously a much shorter version, but he reminds me of Falcor.
A much shorter version of the
He reminds me of Falcor, and I always wanted to ride Falcor. So I would say Appa.
That's fair.
I would have to say Appa was my favorite one. In fact, I remember I actually had an Appa stuffed animal at one point.
Really?
Oh, yeah, I used to sit on my bed all the time. Appa was one of my favorites.
Good point, fair.
Yeah,
that's fair.
Yeah, he was so cool. So, yeah, that's a great question. Yeah. Appa would be my call.
And I think one of my favorite, like, I just wanted to bring this up. I think one of the coolest things in the show was Ko the Face Stealer. Every time I start, like, watching the show with someone, even if it's, like, some middle episode, I'm like, you gotta see Ko the Face Stealer. Because that scene was so scary.
Yes.
because it was like you're not allowed to make any facial like emotion,
right?
Or else he will steal your face. And it was like a giant centipede with different faces. It was,
so let's talk about that for a second, because you're right. I almost forgot about that episode. As soon as you said face stealer,
that's another one of my favorite episodes.
What's interesting is that it's a Nickelodeon show, and that was scary. There's some episodes in there that are heavy on the the scariness
or
that sort of thriller. Like, oh my god, is this gonna scare kids? Right? There's certain episodes you almost think like, kids, this is Nickelodeon, you should be watching this show, but it's obviously geared towards kids. You know, so there's definitely that hits them to that point. Are there any other episodes that sort of do that to you, that say, I don't know if this is okay for a young kid to watch?
I don't know. I think a lot of it was just for like a lot of it was for kids, but a lot of it was also for like all ages, which is hence why we're still talking about it. Right. Like there were a lot of like more mature parts, but a lot of the time it would kind of go over kids' heads. Like the tragedy that is Azula, like her whole character, like someone who's like older can like get it, can see it, but a kid just goes like, wow, she's crazy. I'm so glad she lost.
Yes. Yeah,
I mean,
agree.
I'm so glad she lost.
But that's the magic of a good show,
Yeah.
right? It's not just for kids. It's for all ages.
Right.
Adults can watch it, because a lot of this stuff, like I have a 1-year-old, he's going to start watching TV eventually, although we try to keep him not to watch TV. He watched Curious George. That's about all he watches. He has his bottle of milk in the morning.
Not quite
he watched
the
George.
face stealer episode.
Right, exactly. And obviously, we want to keep him off of TV and iPads and iPhones as much, even though he tries to steal our phone constantly, and he already knows how to work them at one. But we try to keep him off that stuff, but eventually he's going to have to start watching, educational shows.
Yeah.
But there's so many out there that are just like mind-numbing, and you have to listen to this music over and over and listen to these
like
high-pitched, screechy, voicey characters. And if I have to watch Peppa Pig, I'm going to throw myself off of something. But you got to do it, right? As
put
a
on some of
parent.
the golden age of Nickelodeon
right?
shows, like Danny Phantom or Fairly Odd Parents.
Exactly. Oh, I love Fairly Odd Parents, but they're pretty whiny too. But it's a little screechy
but they're
show.
better than Peppa Pig.
They're definitely better than a Peppa Pig. So he's gonna start watching those eventually. But this show was that type of show your kid can watch it, and you don't mind watching it either, if it's in the background or you're watching with them, and everybody can enjoy it. And that I love. I appreciate that when they do that. And some things go over the kid's head, but not in a way that it distracts them or stops them from watching the show. Yeah. It's not so adult that in the new My Little Pony was the same way.
Yeah.
It was meant for kids.
It was kind of like there's a
following.
lot of other followers watching it. Like even if like first glance you go, wow, that's a kid's show. It's like it's got some stuff to it that like adults can enjoy.
Yeah, definitely. I always want to get I collect pop figures. That I have way too many.
Yes,
but not as many as some
you
people.
do.
I've seen some people online who have way more pop figures. I only have a little over 100. So there are people that have hundreds.
You just got to up your game.
I definitely have to step it up
numbers.
a notch. I have to step it up
Get
a notch.
good.
But I stay focused on the Office and the Big Bang Theory, and I have a couple of like loose, other ones, not loose, but in the box, but different ones, and they have a couple of the Aang ones that I want. There's one him sitting on the ball. So there's a few of them that I actually want.
One of those.
You get the one you want, but it's like you can't. If you do that, you go down a road. They will have one.
Then you're
gonna
have all of the Avatar.
Well, I don't have all the Aang figures. They're all cool.
And the Chase figures and the different repaints.
You gotta be super careful with that. But we'll do a whole pop episode. We're gonna do a whole pop episode and talk about pop figures.
I'll bring up all 7, 8 of mine.
Yeah, and I'll talk about all the hundreds that I have. So it'll be. But just in terms of collecting it all, we'll talk about that another day. All right, excellent. That's all. That is fantastic. Awesome. Thank you so much. Another great episode talking about The Last Airbender. If you guys have any questions for us, definitely find us online. We'd love to hear from you. We want to start ranting with you. We'd love to get some other guests on the show as well, talking about things that you are passionate about. Please drop us a line. You can find us on our website at entertainmentrants.com. Connect with us via email at engage@entertainmentrants.com. We're at social media. We have a TikTok. We have Facebook, obviously, Twitter, Instagram. We have a YouTube channel. Just look us up at Entertainment Rants everywhere you go. All right. Thank you again, Mila.
Thank you again.
All right, everybody, get out there and start ranting.